Hello students, this is our chapter 1, the living word. Today we'll study about taxonomical aids, just like herbarium, botanical garden, museums and zoological parks and taxonomic key, etc. This table is very important. It's having taxonomic categories of some common organisms. So common name is man, just like biological name is Homo sapiens. You all know Homo is genus and sapiens is species. Then family is Hominidae, order is Primata and class Mammalia and phylum is Chordata and kingdom is Animalia. Just like for housefly, its biological name is Massa domestica, genus is Massa and family is Massidae and Diptera is order, insecta is class and phylum is Arthropoda and kingdom is Animalia. Just like wheat for wheat, it's Triticum aestivum. Triticum is the genus and Poaceae is the family, Poales is the order and class is monocotyledon. You all know that wheat is a monocotyledon. It's having only one cotyledon and division is angiospermy or spermatophyta and kingdom is plantae. Just like mango, for mango you can learn, it's given here and you have to learn all the order, class, etc. given in this table because these can be included in 1 mark questions. So on this slide we'll study taxonomical studies. Both laboratory and field studies are required for study and correct identification of species. The information once gathered should also be stored for future reference. Specimens should also be collected, preserved and stored for later verification. Biologists have standardized procedure and techniques to store information and specimens. Storehouse of information and specimens which can help in identification and classification of organism are called taxonomical aids. The important taxonomical aids are botanical gardens, herbarium, museums, zoological parks, etc. So these studies are useful to know about our bioresources and their diversity. These help in identification, naming and classification of organisms. So for the study of plants and animals and other organisms which are used in agriculture, forestry, industry, we need these taxonomical aids. First taxonomical aid is herbarium. Herbarium is a collection of pressed, mounted or preserved plant specimens arranged systematically according to commonly accepted system of classification so as to provide first-hand information of plant materials of various types. All institutes dealing with botanical studies maintain their own herbarium. Students are trained to collect and identify herbarium specimens of local and distant places. For this the students are taken on excursions. So these sheets, these are in kept in sheets. These sheets are arranged systematically according to universally accepted system of classification. So these sheets contain information about date, place of collection, collector's name, local and scientific name, family, etc. So this provide quick referral system in taxonomical studies. Second taxonomical aid is Botanical Garden. Botanical Garden is an institution located in an enclosed piece of land which grows numerous types of plants obtained from different places for botanical studies and research, etc. There are over 525 large-size botanical gardens developed in various parts of the world. Small botanical gardens are also maintained by educational institutions. The first modern day botanical garden was established in Italy. A botanical garden exclusively growing trees and shrubs is called arboretum. The most famous biological garden of the world is Kew Garden or Royal Botanical Garden, Kew, that's located in London. And it was founded in 1759. These days botanical gardens have greenhouses, rock gardens, palm houses and botanical ponds, laboratories, etc., library, museum, etc. So you must have seen anyone. Some famous botanical garden in India are Indian Botanical Garden, Calcutta, and National Botanical Research Institute, Lucknow, and Garden of Medicinal Plants, North Bengal University, West Bengal. A museum is a place used for storing, preservation, and exhibition of objects of natural history, both plants and animals, art and objects of antiques. All educational institutions and universities maintain museum in their botany and zoology departments. Museum of Natural History has collection of preserved plants and animals. Only those plants are preserved in museums which cannot be kept in herbaria. For example, algae, fungus, mosses, ferns, etc., parts of gymnosperms, these are kept as in the museum. So specimens are preserved in containers or jars in preservative solutions and can be preserved as dry also. You have seen some specimens in labs also which are kept in formalin solution. Insects are preserved and in insect boxes after collecting, killing and pinning etc. So large animals are stuffed and preserved. उनके अंदर से सारे parts निकाल के उनके अंदर stuffing कर देते हैं और उनको preserve कर सकते हैं so that we can study about their body, contour of the body and we can study about the beaks etc. These can be studied easily. Fourth taxonomical aid is zoological park. Zoological park are enclosed areas where animals are kept in open enclosures instead of cages as in zoo etc. Zoological park provide more natural environment to animals. Therefore, most zoos are being converted into zoological parks so that the animals can be kept in natural habitat, and it provides to study the behavior and food habits of the animals etc. In India, there are 200 zoos and zoological parks. A central zoo authority looks after their management in India, and international body also coordinates the activities of zoological parks in different countries. Besides large zoological park, some states maintain large aquaria. For example, you must have seen in Mumbai, it's for the variety of fishes, and aviaries for birds, etc. and Serpentaria for snakes that is present in the Chennai. So, role of zoological park is basically zoological parks are prized assets. They are useful for familiarizing public, especially children, with wild animals. Study of live animal types by students, sources of tourist attraction and ex situ conservation through captive breeding of endangered animals. And because of captive breeding, California condor and black-footed ferret have been saved from extinction. So, some famous zoo in India are Zoological Park in Mysore, Zoological Park, Nehru Zoological Park in Hyderabad, then Trivandrum Zoo and Chennai Zoo, etc. Fifth, taxonomical aid is key. Key for identification. It is an important taxonomic aid. Key is a set of alternate characters or couplets of different types arranged sequence wise in such a fashion that by selection and elimination one can quickly find out the name of the organism. Depending upon the category, a key may be class key, order key, family key, genus key or species key. So taxonomical keys are of two types, bracketed and identited. In a bracketed key, the alternate characters are given numbers in brackets. In indented or yoked key, there is a sequence of two or more alternate characters from which selection and elimination are carried out. So I'm telling you one example. So suppose one example is there. 6 vertebrates are to be identified. For example, fish, frog, snake, bird, bat and cat. Distinguishing characters are recorded for each group: presence or absence of ears, mammalian or non-mammalian character, ability or inability to fly. Flight is a trait of both birds and bats, then presence or absence of limbs, tetrapods, except snakes, etc., and non-tetrapods like fishes, presence and absence of gills. This is the characteristics of fishes and absent in adults of others. So such characters are given. उसके बेसिस पे आइडेंटिड की और ब्रैकेटेड की बनाते हैं जिससे कि उनको सिमिलैरिटीज और डिसिमिलैरिटीज के बेसिस पे उनको अलग अलग कर सकते हैं. Apart from the taxonomical aids we have studied, there are some other taxonomical aids just like flora, manuals, monographs and catalogs, etc. First of all, what is flora? It provides information as to all the plants growing in a particular area. So the environmental conditions, seasonal changes and description of plants along with their identification key, they are available for ready reference. For example, flora of British India, flora of Delhi. So likewise, manuals are books of instructions having information for identification of names of species occurring in particular area. And monographs are publications containing exhaustive treatment of all the members and aspects of biology and of taxonomic groups as far as they relate to their identification, nomenclature and classification. And catalog is a book containing list of systematically arranged plants or animals found in an area along with their identification. So this is all about the living world in this chapter, and the next chapter will study biological classification in next lecture.